Alright everyone, I'm very fortunate enough that my state is setting up Jurassic World Rebirth attractions around different shops. So this isn't like my local shops. I did have to travel to probably the third closest shop around me, I reckon. But it was worth it to get to see this. As you can see, they've got displays everywhere. Velociraptor. They had a Dilophosaurus statue and a Parasaurolophus statue. Very cool, you know, having that T Rex raft scene. You can see little Aquilops down there, and I found an Anurognathus render. They've got a pop-up thing. I couldn't see it at first because it was camouflaged in with the grass. We'll get to it. But yeah, there are multiple ones. So other Rebirth events, I've got pictures to show you. They've had T-Rex animatronics, Triceratops animatronics, so I find that really interesting. And there are also like Pteranodon animatronics as well. So it's just so cool. And have a look at this. This is the adult Dilophosaurus, not the tiny one from the movie. This is the proper adult Dilophosaurus, guys. And you can see right there, I didn't see it at first, the Anurognathus render. And then I look over, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a Anurognathus. And it was just so cool to see that it popped up. But yeah, then I went into a few stores, and it was so cool to see the Carnotaurus in person, because you can tell it's got the Ceratosaurus colors from JP3. So you can tell when Carnotaurus was originally going to be in Rebirth, it was definitely inspired by, you know, because we know Carnotaurus was meant to be in JP3 instead of Ceratosaurus, so we assume it probably had these colors, so this was probably a callback to that, and I just think that's so awesome. I was almost so tempted to get it. I'm like, do I get it for my Ceratosaurus collection? But at the end of the day, it is a Carnotaurus, so I don't know. And I did get something Carnotaurus related for Jurassic World Rebirth. We'll make a video on that soon, I promise. But yeah, we are getting to the other attractions, and also because Jurassic World Rebirth has had events in Victoria, which is, you know, Australia, and I want to compare that to how did it go for Dominion, because we've seen these same attractions set up for Dominion, but was Dominion better? Was Rebirth better? I'd kind of like to compare that, because I feel like I almost had more fun during the Dominion era. I feel like, you know, Rebirth is probably a more enjoyable movie, but still. Anyway, that 15 pack, I do have it. I would like to review it soon, so get ready for that. I've got a couple of the minis next to me. They're really cool. And then I found these big Ushies. I've got the small Ushies. I've got all those ones. There's 5, but they didn't make a big one of Quets. You can see they've made a big Pyroraptor, Indominus Rex, Mosasaurus, and here is T-Rex. It's funny they have the Jurassic World Rebirth logo, because, you know, they're not Jurassic World Rebirth related. And then I found these T-Rex plushies, very cool. I was searching for a Spinosaurus plushie or Mosasaurus plushie up the back. I think for some reason it's only T-Rex. And then I found the Wave 2 Danger Packs. I didn't pick anything up. I'm not really too interested in stuff. I'm mostly just going for the canon stuff from the movie, you know, and obviously Archaeornithomimus wasn't in the movie, but I figured I'd show the scan codes, even though I made a scan code video yesterday. But still, it was just so awesome to find these out in the wild, because I hadn't seen them yet. I was like, oh my gosh, they're right there. I didn't find Terra, unfortunately. That's the one of the only 4 from Wave 2 that just wasn't there. And then yeah, shout out to Jasmine Simone. They found in Ringwood what another version of this event looks like. You can see Triceratops, T-Rex, Pteranodon, Dilophosaurus in the middle. So it looks like they're more set up than what mine is. And also Jurassic Picks over in Werribee found some as well. Now, theirs was kind of similar to mine, except instead of Dilophosaurus, they had the T-Rex animatronic. So yeah, I'm a little bit jealous of Ringwood, although they did have that Mosasaurus stand pop out, whereas mine was just attached to the cardboard, or, you know, to the wall, whereas this was a cardboard pop out. So a little jealous of that, but it's mostly the same thing. It was still cool to see. And yeah, you can see there it's got 3 Spinosaurus, and mine only had 2, because obviously the Mosasaurus was attached to the wall. But yeah, I'm so happy, you know, when Rebirth stuff is around. I was at the shops yesterday when I was here, and just to hear so many people from the public talking about Jurassic Park, it's so awesome. Like, I heard these guys, some guys talking about Spinosaurus, Quetzalcoatlus, and I hear others be like, oh, Jurassic Park event. But yeah, this is the Dominion event. So these are the animatronic or kind of stands they use. Blue, you can see the T-Rex, very similar to what's going on. This is obviously, you know, these are the Dominion inspired ones, whereas they've painted them to now be Rebirth inspired. So the Dilophosaurus, we do actually see the Dominion Dilophosaurus with the orange frills as the big animatronic, but they've clearly repainted it to have the Rebirth colors of yellow and red. I think we're getting to it here. Yeah, there's the Parasaurolophus that was at my event. It's the exact same one. It's even got its babies, so it's unfortunate it's been separated from its babies. There was Carnotaurus too, so I just feel like Could you imagine if that's around for a Rebirth event and they've repainted it in, you know, the Ceratosaurus colors? I would travel to the ends of the earth to find that. I think that would be so worth it. I could be like, guys, you won't believe it, I actually found the real Rebirth Carnotaurus. This one's interesting here because it was compy. Yes, it was a really big compy. We can pretend it's the super colossal Compsognathus. And then they had Dimetrodon. Obviously, they can't really repurpose it for the Rebirth event. Maybe they could say, oh yeah, it's Spino, guys, and add a crocodile mouth onto it to be like, yeah, it's Spinosaurus. They could actually totally do that. I think they could. And that compy, they could repaint it red, you know, Carnotaurus, give it the Triceratops colors. Triceratops, add another head onto it, and it's canon to Rebirth. But yeah, this one, obviously the Triceratops was at the Ringwood event, so they're counting it. I do believe Triceratops was meant to be in the movie, but was scrapped. This is the Dominion Dilophosaurus. You can quite clearly see the difference. You know, it's got the orange. That's me from 2022. But yeah, Dominion Dilophosaurus has the orange frills, and it's just so cool to see they painted it to have the Rebirth colors. And yes, Stegosaurus wasn't in the movie on the island alive, but I think we saw it in like that cartoon thing showing what dinosaurs are on the island. So it is technically canon. You could use every single one of these animatronics, even that blue animatronic. Oh, you could repaint it to be the Rebirth Velociraptor. If they did that, that would be so cool. Obviously, yes, they're not the best quality animatronics, but what you gonna do when they're making multiples? Because I only thought there was one of these guys, you know. I thought there was one Dilophosaurus in Australia. I was like, that's probably it. They're probably, you know, pushing it around different events. But to see this, you know, one's at one of my stores, one's at another store. The Parasaurolophus is everywhere, so, you know, it's just cool to see. And then, of course, we did have photos from them capturing more. Oh my gosh, it's just so awesome. Yeah, I genuinely think they could repurpose every single one. So obviously, we've only seen 3 stores, but what other stores could they be at, you know? How many times have they been repurposed? I think there's even a Pyroraptor Animatronic stand as well. But yeah, that was kind of the difference between, you know, the Rebirth events and the Dominion events. This was also during Dominion. I got to walk down this street. It was so awesome. Just street art of Dominion. And I think, you know, the things that Rebirth has had is they put a ton of massive posters up at one of my stations, which unfortunately they've been taken down now. I don't know why, it was gone too quick. And then obviously I went to the premiere. They probably did something similar for Dominion, but I didn't go to that one, so I'm not too sure what was there. But yeah, I feel like there was just a lot more going on in Dominion. I could go around, explore more, and Rebirth, I don't know, but in a way it's now kind of similar now that we've had this event. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to watch up here for more, and I will see you later.